Hey guys, this is the first look at the Petnet SmartFeeder. This is what you're looking at is the newly updated 2017 model. I believe they've had other versions of this pet feeder. They have addressed some issues with some of the earlier models, but I think the refinements are quite nice. If you go onto Amazon and look at the reviews, a lot of the negatives that people have pointed out, they have fixed in this version of the pet feeder. I've had it for a few days now, and so far it's worked flawlessly. I will be going on a trip pretty soon, and so what I've done was I've set this up in preparation for the trip and make sure it functions and make sure he's getting the right amounts of food and he's not hungry, or the machine isn't just like dispensing too much food. I already measure my food for my cat, so I kind of had a pretty good idea of the amount of food that Thumper eats. So it was pretty easy for me to set this up. So if you don't measure your food and you feed your cat maybe like once a day and you just fill his bowl up, you can kind of use that as a baseline. Just get your food filled up and then kind of like measure it out with the thing, and then you can basically set up the Petnet with those measurements. So so start with the features here. So it's got a Tamper Proof lid here. It holds 7 pounds of food. So this will work for a small dog or maybe even a medium-sized dog, and obviously all the different sized cats, unless you got a lion. So this will hold 7 pounds of food in this bin. And so how you open it is you pull these both out and lift up. And so it would be very difficult for a dog or a cat to do a movement like that, to lift up the lid, and it's very secure. Let's see here. I forgot how this. Oh, there's a little button in the center, and this comes out, and this is washable. This has electronics in it, and this, I believe, is the actual part that connects to the Wi-Fi, and it just snaps in pretty easily as well. Oops. There we go. This top part is also washable, so you can wash that if you want to. It just comes off, as you can see there. I like the styling of it. It's very kind of minimalistic. It's also got a little ring right here that, there we go, a little ring right here. So if you want to feed your cat some snacks or feed it a full meal, you can use this button. Now, you're wondering, how do you configure like the amounts of food you're going to give your cat? Well, there's an app, and when you load the app up, you can set up, I'm hoping this shows up in the camera, you can set up meals for your cat or your pet. So I've set up 4 feedings because I already know that how much food my cat eats, and so I've just divided it up into 4 separate meals throughout the day. That way he can snack throughout the day while he's hungry, instead of feeding him a large amount of food all at once and he would overeat or something like that. So it's kind of nice in that regard. You can also set up the meals to be automatic or auto feed or manual. Okay, so I enjoy feeding my cat in the mornings and in the afternoon, so it's kind of like a bonding ritual that we have, and it's quite fun. So to use a machine like this, you kind of lose a little bit of that, but since I'm going away on a trip, I think this is going to be a great way for this kind of setup will fill his basic needs while I'm away. The setup for this thing is quite interesting. I can't really show you, but what happens is you load up the app, you type in all the important information, and then it has you, you type in your Wi-Fi information, then it has you place the phone down on the bowl, just like kind of like that, and it flashes a bunch of lights, and I guess this has a sensor in it, and it receives information based on those flashing lights. So it's kind of nice. It's a very easy setup, because you don't have to like connect this thing to Bluetooth or try to like figure out how to type something into the Wi-Fi thing. It's you type everything on the phone. It has little flashy lights. The flashy lights transmit all the important information to the Petnet. And once it's connected to your Wi-Fi, all you need to do is you don't need to use the flashy thing anymore. It's now connected to the internet, and you can configure your Petnet through the app however you want all the time. It's once it's set, it's set. Although I'm not sure what happens if you change your Wi-Fi base station. Yeah, the app needs a little bit of polishing. It works pretty good. What happens is when I launch the app, a lot of times it will say right up front that it can't connect to the Petnet servers for whatever reason. But if you wait just a few moments, it usually goes away, or relaunch the app, it usually connects. If you have the automatic thing, it doesn't need your phone. This thing gets disconnected from if you have an auto feed schedule set up, if this gets disconnected from the internet or you lose power, it will still continue to work. This has a power backup feature. I believe the power lasts for 7 hours. Don't quote me on that. 7 hours if the power is disconnected for whatever reason. It's not a super long time, so you don't want to you wouldn't expect this to work for days without power, but 7 hours, so it will handle most general power outages if there is one. And then you can hit this button here for snacks. And so what I've got it set up for is 1/16 of a cup. So if he's like complaining to me that he's hungry, even though I've set up the feeding schedule for him, I can just hit this button here, and it'll just dispense a little snack. And you can define how big you want your snacks to be. The smallest amount of food you can give your cat or pet is 1/16 of a cup. And if I hit this little button here, it's quite nice. Like I said, there's a lot of use cases for this. So you can manual feed your cat, right out of a bag, and you can just use this purely as a backup. You can have this fully automatic and feed your cat snacks with the button. You can use the button or the app to just feed your cat a normal meal. So you have a lot of options. You don't have to stick with any prescribed method. You're going to just use whatever's best for you. So that's the one great thing about this, is that it has the flexibility to kind of like be what you need it to be. I like to feed my cats several smaller meals throughout the day. That way he's not like gorging on a meal. They like to overeat, and they drink their water, and the food starts expanding in their belly, and they're like, "Oh God, this is way too much food." And then you've got a mess somewhere on your always on the carpet, never on the floor. I used to feed him just 2, because feeding, for me to feed him 4 times a day is a little bit much. But with this, I can set up something like that, and he's always got fresh food here. It doesn't sit out and get stale. And so every cat owner knows that if you have food sitting out, they won't eat the older food. They just won't. They just refuse it for whatever reason. Fresh food here waiting for them, and they'll get to it, which is another good thing for cats. Another great use case scenario is as a cat owner, like early clock AM. The cat is all over you, trying to get you up to feed them, and because they love to wake you up. They love the mornings, and you might not like the morning. So if you want to stay in, don't want to get up, and the cat is pestering you, you can open up the app, you can press a little button, and the cat's fed. That's another great use case scenario. And they'll get used to the little sound of the food coming out, and so when they hear that sound, they come running. Like when he hears that sound, he's like, "Yep, it's food o'clock. I want to eat." So he comes and eats it. Test this out before you go on vacation for a few days. Adjust the schedule to and the amounts based on your pet's needs. Now, if you're noticing that the hopper is getting full and keeps getting full, then you're overfeeding the cat, and then you would go on your trip and you could come back and you'd have too much food in here. And if you find yourself giving him too many treats, it might be that you're underfeeding him, and you might want to increase the number of meals or the size of the meals. So just kind of do that. So yeah, he likes to eat. Don't all cats like to eat? He likes to eat. Well, that's the Petnet. This runs for about $150 directly from their website or on Amazon. Sometimes they have a little bit better deals. You can also find this at the major national store not brands, but pet stores that are around. Well, for the most part, it's quite nice and easy to use. So that's the one thing. It's easy to use, and I like simplicity. Like the design. It looks good. Hope you enjoyed this first look at the Petnet SmartFeeder. Very, very satisfied with it. Thanks for watching.